We have Katasha Clausen live on the scene for the Leopards News Network. There are so many stories that are developing right now. We need to go ahead and jump right into it. So many faces being devoured. It is a mess. Let's jump right into these stories. This is a post that was in the Economic Collapse subreddit saying, "I'm a Trump voter. We've been lied to, fellow Americans." You don't say? What? Gasp. As someone who voted for Trump, I thought he would help lower prices, but we've been had. The dictatorship is rising, and America is suffering under his rule. Here are my thoughts as someone who once voted for Trump. Unlike a lot of Trump voters that I know, I could care less about gender politics and the culture war. What path people take in life is their business, and they're right. I have to feed and take care of myself and my family, and I wanted fair wages and fair prices. Trump and Musk, however, had us fooled into thinking that the Democrats were the cause of all of our problems, economy included. Their lies painted the left, immigrants, and anything or anyone other than themselves as the bad guys. That in itself is classic bad guy behavior. After seeing Musk support Schnazi groups and give Schnazi salutes and blatantly admit to foul play, I suspect that things weren't what they seemed all this time. You got to excuse me, I kind of choked a little bit. Nobody who outright supports Schnazi's could possibly bring anything but trouble. By chance, the algorithm fed me just one post on this subreddit, and my eyes were opened. It's too bad that your eyes couldn't have been opened before the election. Even with the exclusive monopoly that the ultra-rich have on GOP media, I finally saw through the lies and facades and realized that we're all cooked if we don't do something. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for voting for the buffoons that ruin our lives. I truly feel ashamed. But if my vote alone was different, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. In my defense, I was surrounded by MAGA propaganda, Trump supporters, and family members whose daily conversation was Trump this, Biden that. I had no idea what was really happening until I saw this subreddit by chance one day. I'm not saying that one side is better or worse. You need to say that. One side is worse. I'm not even saying that everything I just said is right. It is just my opinion after all. But Trump had us all fooled. No, he didn't. Some of us have not been fooled by Trump. Whether he is just Musk's puppet or whether he is in on the deal, they both have got to go before the economy is ruined for good by rich oligarchs like Trump, Musk, and Bezos. Trump voters may still have their own beliefs, as may all the ones who voted otherwise. But a house divided against itself cannot stand. The rich are everyone's enemy now, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So let Americans unite as friends against the injustice being done against America and the Constitution. We had the power before the vote. He said, I'm going to be a dictator on day one. We had Project 2025. These people believed that everybody in the liberal media was lying. They believed that everybody that were liberal content creators were just inflammatory and triggered, and they needed to own the libs. Well, everybody's getting owned, and now people are being harmed. Girl Gamer says Trump has been known as a grifter, liar, thief, and downright bad business person since the 80s. I don't get how and why people were fooled to think otherwise. He leaves ruins in his wake, always has, and comes out richer at the exploitation of those closest to him. He bankrupted businesses. He stiffed contractors and small business owners. Why these people believed him is beyond me, because these stories have been out there. I don't know. I believed him. We were had. Oh, these people really are annoying. Plastic Fudge says, I just don't get it. It was more than red flags and warnings. The writing was on the wall in a published book available to the public. Don's Looker says, it was everywhere. And Trump voters said, we don't care. Besides, he won't really do all the stuff you say he's going to do, even though he said he was going to do it. He said it. TS is sold says, but then he did, and more. His cult followers will believe anything he says and make all the excuses. TM Hawk says, right up to where it affects them personally. And even then, they are still delusional enough to try to reason with the zombies. Right. They sit up and send messages like, Sir Donald Trump, I voted for you 3 times, and I know that you're going to get rid of waste and fraud, but could you please spare an F to give? Do you have a damn to give? Because my family needs food. They really sit up and send messages to him on Twitter like he cares. And I'm confused why they think that this man cares about them. All right. Switch Mountain says, this is why I have next to no sympathy. They would never have cared if it didn't eventually affect them. It's not knowledge they lacked. It was basic empathy. Plex Maniac says, the only lies were groceries would be cheaper and he would stop the war in Ukraine in the first week. Off Center says his lie was worse than that. At one point, he said to vote for him and he'd have the Ukraine war sorted before his first day in office. And then Plex Maniac says, oh, yes, you are right. And anyone who believed that is delusional. And basically at the bottom. So he's a known liar. Yes, this man is a liar. I want to remind us all, in October, before the election, Donald Trump said, eggs and gas prices out of control. Crooked Joe and the radical left destroyed affordability for hardworking Americans. It's a total scam. On day one, I'll slash prices so fast it'll make their heads spin. Big oil, big farms, they listen to me, not lobbyists. No more ripoffs, MAGA. So now that's what he said back in October. And this is what he's saying now. Biden inflation up. So day one, he was supposed to cut all these prices. But what is he doing instead? He's cutting jobs. He's cutting funding for poor people, making sure that kids don't have Head Start to go to, making sure that there's no funding for all of these programs that were actually important. Farmers are not getting their subsidies and funds and all of that. It's really wild. Universities are not getting their research budgets and there's going to be layoffs. But he's sitting up here saying Biden inflation is up. And I've done this before, and I think I'm going to keep highlighting this, that inflation was actually coming down. And then Trump started threatening tariffs, the Trump tariffs. And then magically, inflation started rising because tariffs they don't do well with the economy because we're going to end up paying for those tariffs. And oh my God, the voters that decided to look up tariffs after the election. Yes, you people, this is on you. You helped to heat up the inflation as it was coming down. You helped that. Good for you. All right, there's going to be more. I just needed to do this one with this Reddit thread that was in the economic collapse. Now we have a few more. We have a few more that we just need to hit up. There's more faces being eaten, and they deserve it. More faces being eaten. So this one's titled, My MAGA Sister-in-Law with Special Needs Children is Realizing That She's Next on the Menu. Trump promised to cut the Department of Education on the campaign trail. And people were like, oh, yeah. Like, let's cut it. But it helped families that were in poverty. It helped funding for kids that had learning disabilities or had other kind of disabilities that needed accommodation. And so this is the text message that this woman sent saying, this is a huge mess. If certain policies pass, they won't have to honor blank's 504, which allows him to use the restroom whenever. This will be a huge problem as he has to drink a lot because of his medicine and use the restroom more regularly. Also, it affects that the teachers send him notes when his wrists are swollen and allows for extra test time when he is in a flare. And not to mention that I already hired an advocate to get the schools to follow regular laws in regards to blank. Now they won't have to follow anything. And how will he continue to progress and get the help he needs? I guess, listen to this. I guess the lesson is to take political candidates seriously when they suggest certain changes. Seriously? I guess that's the lesson. Normally, they don't do half the stuff they say that they want to do. But this man he has the whole Congress. He has the Supreme Court, so he can do whatever he wants to do. But she has the lesson. I guess the lesson is to take them seriously. So agitated Yang says a MAGA voter found out that Trump's policies with regard to disabled people, policies he stated during his campaign that she herself admits are going to directly and negatively affect her own son. And this person's physical son honed in on the part. I guess the lesson is to take political candidates seriously, saying, no, that's not the lesson, because everyone else already knows this except you. The lesson is you're an effing a-hole, and you were willing to make a disabled child's life worse to appease a man who doesn't give a hot tinned poop about either of you. The lesson is some people are too selfish to raise children. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again. Heating bills skyrocket in state that went for Trump by 30 points directly because of his executive order, stripping funds because all those funds is just waste. It's efficient to strip money for heating. Screw them people. All right, so this person says Alabamans voted for Trump so that he would cut governmental handouts. Trump gets in office and immediately halts grants, i.e., government handouts. Alabamans now have to pay $100 or more for energy because they lost their grant. Also, they start complaining that Trump was supposed to stop giving handouts to other people, and not their grants. Eat those faces, not my face. Ugh. All these people need to be cold because Trump and his administration need to find money so that millionaires and trillionaires and billionaires can have money for an extra yacht, an extra airplane, 2 to 3 houses. But these people, they don't need no grants for heat. Why are they poor in the first place? All right, so this says heating bills skyrocket in state that went for Trump by 30 points directly because of his executive order. Alabama was never going to vote for Kamala Harris. It would have been a joke for Harris to even campaign there. This is a state that almost made a senator out of Roy Moore after he was accused of SAing minor girls. It's safe to say that Alabamians are among the most reliable of Trumpers. There's no telling what made them start voting against their own best interests other than unscrupulous Republicans taking advantage of Alabama's status as the most religious state in America to make them vote purely on social conservatism. But it's a deep, deep red state. That's why voters in Madison County, 54% for Trump, and Limestone County, 73% for Trump, must be so surprised to find out that their votes are going to cost them actual money. A letter went out just over a week ago from Huntsville Utilities, which provides electricity, natural gas, and water to residents of the 2 counties. The letter detailed what was about to happen to consumers' bills. They're about to pay an extra $100 a month. The grant freeze that Trump ordered hit hard in places where those grants were helping out underserved citizens in poor areas, and that's one of the poorest in the nation. Dear customer, this letter informs you that your above referenced utility account has been debited for $100. Community Action Agency of Huntsville/Madison and Limestone counties have been notified that the grant you received for $100 on January 23rd is no longer valid due to President Trump's executive order to rescind the funding behind the grant. The grant you received for $100 has been debited to your account. They snatched that money from those people. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. If you need to make payment arrangements or have questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with our office. All right, it says that's more than not getting money. That's money that was already credited to their accounts being taken back. Any customer that was told they were getting a $100 credit may have actually used that money already to pay for food, gas, or other expenses. And now all of a sudden they have an expected bill for $100 that will be due next month. Eric says, I know a few people who are recipients of various forms of government aid, both direct and indirect. They take it gladly and characterize their resulting success as their own hard work and perseverance. So when the idea comes up that welfare exists, they hate it outright because in their mind, they've convinced themselves that they never needed it. So they rally against it and vote against it. Yes, they received it, but they took it for granted. So maybe, just maybe, having it ripped away will make them realize that Maybe that government that works well ain't too shabby. Is not has not been done before quite like this. So sure, let's try it. And the thing is, they have it in their mind that the people that get welfare, the people on food stamps, are coloreds. They're just getting a little help. It's the welfare people that are taking advantage, and they're the ones, those coloreds, those coloreds over there, they're the ones that are wasteful. I need it because I just need to feed my family. Those other people are eating lobster and steak. I'm eating tuna and beans and rice. So I deserve it better. Plus, I'm white. That's basically it. Lavender at the bottom says, my mom received TANF, SNAP, housing assistance, and SSI for my brothers for 20 years. After they moved out and those funds were cut, she married her stepdad? What? I'm sorry, that actually kind of got me. She married her stepdad to access his money, and she says, yes, she actually did that. After that, she consequently badmouthed anyone that needed assistance. Oh, y'all. She married her stepdad. That is what she just typed, and she said, yes, she actually did that. All right, so let's look at this comment. This person looks like they're from Idaho saying, I tried for 2 years to get a federal job so I can afford Biden's inflation. I just got the job 7 months ago. We are starting to get caught up on our late payments on our vehicles and credit cards, which are maxed out. Anyway, we were so relieved to get Trump back. Thank God, American flag. Only to get fired from my job? WTF. There are no effing jobs in this horse town. And who the F has the money to move? Not us. Son of a gun. And it says FUT. He said FU Trump. Finally, these people are thinking. But like I've already showed you, inflation was actually coming down. Inflation has been coming down since its high point. But these people, they have no concept of like looking for independent sources outside of their right wing media. They won't. But inflation has been coming down. So they're looking to, get out of Biden's inflation. But now we get to deal with Trump's inflation. So, yes, you voted for this. And then finally, we have this. This person is tagging Elon Musk, Doge, and Donald Trump saying, so I turned down the deferred resignation and tried to stay at my job with FWS and do my work instead of taking free money that I hadn't earned, only to be terminated a few days later. How does ending a $50,000 job do any good? Yes, so that Elon Musk and the other billionaires can get millions of dollars a day. They have to snatch your money so you can't pay rent. They would rather you be, hungry and without shelter because that's what you voted for. All right, I understand cutting waste, but how does putting my ability to feed my family in jeopardy do anything to help the country? Couldn't you have been a little more tactful? I didn't want to take money I hadn't earned only to get screwed over. How is this MAGA? I voted for Trump and to fix our screwed up country, to get rid of the stupid that was happening. But what kind of game was this? What purpose did it serve? Of course, had it been made clear that I was gone anyways, I would have taken the easy way out. My $25 an hour salary must be real important. It really is. You were wasteful. You were inefficient. So they had to take your job because millionaires and billionaires need money instead. So I really do hope that these people learn the lesson. And I do believe that they have to learn this lesson. They have to deal with all of this because otherwise they're going to keep on voting the way they have been voting. They stayed in their echo chambers of right-wing media and they wouldn't get out of it. Now, maybe this will make them see that those people are not working for them, but working for billionaires. Anyway, join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and share.
Well, you're not going to change our minds if you're mean to us. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's not what this is about. Before the election, I tried. I tried to appeal to your empathy and found it non-fucking existent. I tried to appeal to your logic and it was like hitting my head on a brick goddamn wall. And I tried to appeal to your wallet and you didn't understand the fucking math. So now, this is about a good man giving bad men the disrespect they fucking deserve. Besides, you maggots are the ones that claim you're the most strong-willed, thick-skinned, alpha among beta motherfuckers on the planet. You guys are the ones that are so goddamn quick to call anybody else a triggered little snowflake. So here, if it triggers you so goddamn bad that I call you what you support, either go cry about it or make the first fucking intelligent decision in your goddamn life and don't fucking support it anymore. But I am done trying to use intelligent methods and polite language to change your fucking minds, because it doesn't fucking work. So what this is about now is about showing that there's someone who looks like me, a white straight man, who sticks up for the people who need the most goddamn help, instead of attacking the most marginalized, defenseless communities on the face of the goddamn planet like the cowards that you fucking are.